Hi guys, welcome to our weekly connection. I almost forgot to start the meeting and I was like, why isn't anybody on? I realized I had opened Zoom, but not the link to the meeting. So it's a Thursday and we are here and I'm so excited. Yay. So in our tribe group a few minutes ago, I posted a really funny thing. I saw a funny meme and I thought, wow, what a great topic of conversation, right? Choose your battle animals, essentially, is what this is. Let me see if I can share this. Hold on. Oh, I accidentally clicked something else. Technology, we're going great. It says, important thought experiment. You're in an arena with 50 hawks, 10 crocodiles, 3 brown bears, 15 wolves, 1 hunter with a rifle, 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, and 4 lions. You have to pick 2 to defend you while the others attack you. The goal is to survive simply for 1 hour. So, just a thought experiment. What would you choose? Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. This doesn't have to be answered right now, but I do think it's important to know what you would pick to defend you. For no other reason than I am curious and I want to understand people's logic. And it feels like the Hunger Games, and that's one of my favorites, right? Anybody else? Oh, shoot. I don't know what I did. Okay, let's share that image real quick. Can you just see the picture or do you see everything?
The list. We see the list.
Perfect. Take a screenshot if you need. Wild, right?
I feel like I'm solidly leaning brown bears. And God, gorillas are terrifying. Bro, this is a hard question.
I know.
Like, I think I would probably do 5 gorillas and 50 hawks, because then I'm going to be able to protect myself from the ground and the air.
Okay.
I'm more so worried because like bears will freaking overtake you, bro. They're so huge. People don't even realize.
Yeah.
They could take out, I mean, what was the other thing you selected?
They could take out wolves.
Impossible. Yeah, they could take out like majority of that list. Lions are like the other. I don't know, bro. That's really
Are you deciding what you want to defend you or what you don't want to have to go up against?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the question is to defend you, but
all strategy.
Hey, but can you imagine 10,000 rats? 10,000 rats, like just a total swarm of.
I feel like that could work in your advantage,
right? The hawks would come pick up the rats.
Huh?
The hawks would pick up the rats.
Yeah.
But 50 hawks can't eat 10,000 rats in an hour.
But I don't even think the rats would go for like, if you had lions next to you, they're not going to be like, that's a big kitty. Let me go hang out with that. You know, like.
Listen, my initial instinct was the 15 wolves because they're vicious creatures, right? And if they're surrounding you, they could probably take on some other things. And if the 10,000 rats are literally defending you, that's a lot of rats that could, you know.
But would they?
But do they run for the hills? Like, are they going to try to their way out of there and be like, bye?
How I read this was they are going to be sworn defenders of you. So in my interpretation is they will defend you.
Do we know how much ammo the hunter has?
That's a good question, Brandy.
Wow, that is a good question. It does not specify the amount of ammo. Is it
for sure the hunter would be my defender. If he has ammo, he can kill everything there.
But it's a rifle. Yeah, and I think about reload time.
Reload time.
Yeah.
And by that time, you'd be taking over 15 wolves. Imagine you fire 2, you get them in the perfect spot, and their lives. You still got 13 while you're reloading, and that's not including 3 bears, 10,000 rats. Like I looked at the hunter, I was like, nope.
Maybe it's a semi-automatic rifle.
So the rats, I think I could kick them. Like I could just kick them away until somebody else gets them.
But wait, are we talking New York rats? Because have you seen them?
Yeah.
Yeah, what size are these rats?
You know what? I love that we're delving deep into these very specific questions that I don't have answers for, but let's just put a pin in that.
I think I do the bears for sure for me.
But there's only 3. So that's my concern, is like the number of them.
And
Is it
have you ever seen a lion get it, like even a pride of lions get attacked by hyenas? Like they're like, no, thank you. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, I mean, they could maybe do a little bit of damage, or they'd be like, no, I'm out.
I'm over this.
They're yeah. Mm-mm. Especially if they're males. They get like one good swipe and then they're like, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Let the girls handle this.
Yeah. Gosh, that's a really good point. Okay. Okay, so follow on to this, slightly unrelated, kind of related. If you had to pick 2 products from our catalog to like have in your arsenal, what would you choose?
I feel
This
like
is
this is the
excellent.
easiest question.
That's the easiest question you said?
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Because I look at it as a warmers. Well, I guess it's 2 categories. Our warmers warm to a lower temperature, and that's something that we have on everybody in the market. So
Yeah.
I would say our warmers,
Yeah.
and then our cleaner, our citric acid cleaner,
Mhm.
so bathroom cleaner. That hands down is a huge selling point for most people who want to be more natural and I want this. I feel like those 2 products are comfortable in the market.
Okay.
Otherwise,
All right. Well, I'm gonna change it to product lines then, because that you can't have wax without the warmers. Then that's your 2 products. So product line.
exactly.
I think,
Yeah.
But nobody else has pods either.
Right.
That's
Like
what I was gonna
0
say.
other people have
Pods.
pods, you know?
Mm-hmm. Cynthia says counter clean in the comments. Okay. So the clean line is a really solid one. Because who hates cleaning? Almost everybody. And it smells good, so that makes it better, right? Easier to do.
Are we choosing only one product that we would use forever, or a product that we would choose to sell? Like if we had to just choose 2 lines to sell, or are we choosing 2 that we would personally use? Because those are not the same for me.
Yeah, I think the ones that you would champion for others, that you think other people would need in their lives, not that you necessarily specifically use. Good follow on.
I'm still saying pods, the pods line.
I think for mine that is too, because that's just the easiest to change and to have and to exist in
Well,
my
and
life.
it's the purifier, it's the wall fan, it's the mini fan. So you've got multiple uses.
Mhm.
You cover the car, you cover small spaces, you cover people that want to be more, I don't know that I would say is our air purifier natural? I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? A little more conscientious. Maybe that's the right word.
It's portable too. Like I have my purifier and wall fan and go on travel right now.
And Rachel says definitely laundry cleaner for her because she hates laundry but enjoys when it smells good, right? The whiffs for life. I don't know that's something. I don't know if that's the other one I would champion though, is the laundry, because I only use the whiffs. I don't use the whole. Oh, and fresh, because fresh is in laundry line. I use those 2 pretty religiously. So pod systems and maybe laundry. I don't know. I've stumped myself, you know? Okay, so then what would you guys use for you then? If those are things that you would champion for other people, what are things that you use that you have like as non-negotiables in your house?
Pods.
Pods and cleaning, I think would be my
Pods and
champion and my
whiffs.
keep.
Mine is the diffusers. I like our diffusers.
I like the idea of diffusers so much, and they're so pretty, and I have one on display every single day. But I hardly fill it because I'm lazy, mostly.
Yeah, I stopped using wax. Like I have 3 scents that I like, and if I'm not using those, I use wax. So,
Oh, you're so
yep.
silly.
Okay, but what are
Yeah.
the 3 cents? What 3 cents?
Orange clove pomander, and they discontinued that a long time ago, and I'm on my final 10 bars. And then I use cedar cider during the fall, and then I have simply vanilla that's in my club. That's about it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I started just smelling the wax itself, like I can smell it. So, yeah.
But
Oh,
all of
appreciate
those
it.
scents, I mean, except for the vanilla, all of those scents are very, I mean, orange clove pomander is really close to like thieves, you know, so
It
it's
is.
still a
Yeah, yeah.
pretty
I love
natural,
clove.
Mm.
yeah. And cedar
Definitely love
cider
clove.
is really like, it's very cedary.
Agree.
Fascinating. I knew you liked
It is.
diffusers, but I didn't realize that you only liked 3 fragrances.
3 fragrances. I've tried rotating so many times. It doesn't happen.
In the oils, then what are your go-tos? Do you use our oils or do you use other oils?
Combo. I use ours and others. It just depends. My biggest ones are always orange. Um, obviously clove, cinnamon. They have a vanilla. You can also use extract. I basically make a simmer pot in my diffusers. Like if you've ever cut up. So usually orange, lemon, cinnamon, clove, and vanilla.
Cool.
Everybody's like, what? Yeah. But I
love
have
it.
warmers everywhere because there's nothing beats our design.
They're very pretty. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, I think mine's probably the clean line.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I use a pretty good mixture of diffusers, warmers, and pots. Like, I don't know which one I would choose because I would be sad to not have the others.
Mm.
Like I have my diffuser on right now. I have an air purifier right there and I have a warmer right there. So I don't know what I would do.
The good news is you don't have to choose. This is not the arena, right? I just thought that'd be kind of a fun, fun little thought experiment, Ariel. Oh, English. It's my first language. So question for you guys. In the last year, how have you grown as an individual and as a business owner? Because the last year has been kind of wild. It's been different from the 2 years of spike. We've kind of come back down and there's a new, like going back to pre-2020 madness. How have you grown as a person and as a business builder, business leader, entrepreneur? Because I know a lot has changed for me in the last year. I have personally set some really awesome boundaries, but then figured out what was important and how to make it a priority. And I think that's been really important for me on all sides, personal and business wise.
Business wise, so I wasn't here for the boom of 2020. I joined April 2021. And so 2021, I was already like right away, I wanted to start building a team and all of that. I had my first teaming after a month, and I only had 5 in my group by the end of 2021. 2022, I had 28.
Nice.
So I personally had like 19, I think 18 or 19 last year. So I think that that's been my biggest like business growth, is being able to focus on that while maintaining PRV. As a person, I have changed so much. Like I couldn't even tell you all the ways, but I realize this business helped me realize how unhappy I was in my 60-hour-a-week job. So I quit.
Gosh, that's so liberating. How cool.
Yeah, it's been good. And now I have a personal assistant.
Oh, absolutely. Probably the best.
The best.
I'll tap in. I feel like business wise, from having to take a break for a while and then coming back, I'm much more intentional in my business now versus before where I feel like I was kind of just flailing around. Like, I guess I'll figure out if I have a pattern. I'm more intentional about like structuring myself, which is really difficult as somebody with ADHD. What a joke trying to get on a pattern. but I've been more intentional about it. And I've been actually seeking like mentorship, which I didn't do before. And so that's not, I wouldn't say it necessarily like purposefully humbling, but it is because you need to seek out experts when there's things that you feel like you already know, you don't. So doing both of those things have kind of helped me both personally and in my business, because it's almost like I'm building and recognizing that I can create consistency even though I'm ADHD. The whole narrative behind that is good luck. And it's still difficult, but it is worth it, and it works on both life and you know, business as well.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you have like this renewed experience too, this renewed perspective after having taken that break and coming back in.
Yeah, I said something, somebody asked a question on the director or star director page the other day. Just in general, just asking like how do we get our, you know, teams like excited about stuff and running. And I feel like I finally realized like I need to be more vocal about how I feel and creating the cultures that I want to create and helping other people create the cultures that they want to create. And that was another big part of taking the step back and then stepping back in, is really recognizing like what I did not want in the business and then what I did want in the business.
And I think that goes back to people thinking they have to do all and be all. And it's part of our responsibility to help them understand that you don't have to do that. The beauty of this business is that you work at how it works for you. And other people have a lot of great ideas, and everybody has gone through trials and errors and they've found it works for them, but nobody does all the things. And I think that's a really important reminder to keep at the forefront of anything.
I'm struggling to answer this one. I don't really know why.
You've had a lot going on in the last year.
Yep.
Just a few things.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that this is a huge, like not every year is going to be a huge growth year for everybody. And I don't know that it has been a big growth year for me. I will say that I've been very consistent looking at numbers, even though it's been a really tough year here for us. And, you know, we're about to go into a whole new crazy season of, you know, moving and getting, you know, starting a whole new life in a different space. But I've been very consistent. Like my PRV has been very consistent. I'm still showing up for my customers, doing my best to show up for my team. Are there things that need to be improved? Yeah, absolutely. But even though I don't feel like it's been a big growth year for me necessarily, I'm still like proud of how I've showed up. So I think that's enough for today.
I think that's awesome. And that's also a good point. It's not about always seeing big, huge growth, because if we do those consistent actions over time, the compounding results will eventually be massive, but oftentimes it's small gains, and those should be celebrated as well. Because sometimes those small gains where we're surviving, where we're figuring things out, we're probably trudging through a bunch of stuff. I think that's really important to acknowledge as well.
I like to think of it like, have you ever heard of the theory of like plants aren't showing on the top? What they're actually doing is they're growing roots on the bottom. I feel like the slow years is that's the good stuff, is like you're really building the foundation of like good mental health, making sure you have good balance, and then consistency in your business. I feel like that's the best kind of growth.
I think it's perfect that you're wearing a Herbology shirt right now for that analogy. Thank you so much. Oh, Harry Potter. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm so excited. For those of you who just joined, we are talking about how we've grown personally and professionally in our businesses in the last year. So if you'd like to think on that and then share a little bit, we would love to hear. Kaylin in the comments said that's something that she wants to increase is the personal mentoring. After Fallon was talking, she watches lots of videos, but having that human connection for growth, it's a pretty awesome opportunity to give yourself. Let's see, we've got Brandy, Cynthia, Kaylee, and iPhone. Who's iPhone?
I'm trying to think. I I feel like this was like a roots growing year for me. I don't have a lot of outward stuff. Business wise, I think making better connections with my team has been a big thing this year. It's kind of running blind, I guess, just being a director and kind of just focusing because I still have to get my numbers and then they would be not an afterthought, but it would be that last final week is when I'm really touching in with the group and, giving them ideas and stuff. So now I try to do it often throughout the month and do shout outs and, meet them where they are. So I guess that would be business wise. It's just making those connections. Personal, man, this year was a lot. This year was having a kid is a different thing. Maggie, I don't know how you do it. I was telling my mom about you, and she's like, "Why don't you ask her for some advice?" She has 7, and I'm like, I don't know how I do it with 2. Like, Cash was, and I think Chris being home for a full year, we're just in a whole different thing. I mean, it's just trying to find that balance between everything because we are still, because he was gone for 5 years, it's still kind of like we want to spend our time together. But then so stuff's not getting done the way it needs to be done. And then we want to do our family stuff, but then I have to do my bit. It was a really big balancing act. And I did myself to the back end of that. So this last like month, I've been really trying to make it me. I think the biggest thing is being intentional with how I'm doing things at home, I guess. Not just scrolling, not just mindlessly doing things, not always on my phone because Peyton was always, you're always on your phone, you're always on your phone. And I was like, it's business, it's business, it's business. But how much of it was business, really? How much of it was mindless scrolling and just being aimless? So I think that was a personal thing. And that kind of ties into business too, is trying to find that balancing act for everybody because I think last year was a lot. Like for me personally, like I did not take care of myself whatsoever. And it made everything suffer. All of it. The house, the business, the kids, the family, all of it. So that's the focus right now is just trying to get it all in the right order. Cheers to that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
I don't know that I have awesome advice. I'm happy to talk to you, like not this week because it's, rough week at our house.
You've got a lot going on.
Yeah, this week is, I don't have awesome advice as far as all that this week, but it is hard, especially working from home. Like time management, that's not a thing. Sorry, it's not. Like you do what you got to do. Everybody does. Doesn't matter how many children you have. Doesn't matter if your husband travels or works from home or whether you're a single parent or whatever, like not a thing. You just got to figure out how to get it done. But you're right. Taking care of yourself is incredibly important. It is not a lie that you cannot fill, pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup before you can fill other people's. And that's not selfish.
Mhm.
So don't let anybody tell you that it is, because it's not. But that's great to have that personal growth. I mean, sometimes self-care looks like holding myself up in my bedroom on a Friday night and reading a book, like there's ways that you can do it without spending a ton of money or taking away from your family or being outside of the house. But, it can also look like I just went on a overnight trip with my husband to Nashville because he was already on a business trip. Like sometimes it can look like that too. So, but taking that time for y'all is important too. Big time. So I'm proud of you for recognizing that was a space that needed more attention because it's important.
Yeah, and I saw a foul in mouth at the same time I was thinking it's prioritizing. It's the priorities that matter. Time management is bullshit. It's the time, it's just prioritizing what matters to you, what needs to get done. And then the rest either will or won't get done, but it's not life. Oh, what's the word? It's not life or death, emergency. And just a reminder, reiteration, there is no Scentsy emergency. There is no Scentsy emergency. If you need to set something down, set your business down for a minute, take care of your family, take care of you. You are a priority. You cannot run a successful business. You cannot be there as you need to be for your business if you're not taken care of, if your family's not taken care of. So please take care of you first. We're going to be here for you. When you're ready to come back, when you're ready to pick it up, we'll be here.
This week I had 2 customers that last minute said they couldn't put an order or something, and I needed to do it for them. And normally I would jump right on that, no problem. But we're traveling for a funeral right now. And so I said, I'll take care of that next week. I don't even know when I'm coming home, but I'll get it done eventually. And they were like, oh yeah, absolutely, no worries. Like, they were very open and appreciative that I normally will jump on something very quickly because I'm home all day now and I can do whatever, but I'm in the middle of the White Mountains, and the fact that I'm connected to Zoom right now is like magical. And I'm just waiting for my internet to shut off after the blizzard this week. Like, I told them I'm not available. So, but that's one thing I love. And I wanted to make sure I was on this call because Thursdays, like, I miss our luau's, Maggie. Thursdays now, like, I need to be there. Like, having you guys helps. So
that's really special. And I think it's a really important reminder that we're all human. We're not just some nameless, faceless transaction, or our customers aren't either, right? It's a two-way thing. We're human, they're human. And sometimes customers can forget that. But I'm really glad that you have understanding customers who are easy to work with and are not having you try and solve their problems and rush over to their house to figure out accidents. We have a team member who is dealing with that right now. This customer is new and she's an older lady, and things were explained to her. She thought she could move a mini warmer with wax already melted in it with no repercussions. She spilled it all and then texted our teammate and said, call me immediately. Like, this is an emergency.
Come clean up my wax.
Yeah.
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, Johnny Appleseed. Like murder scene.
Come clean it up. I need you to come clean up all this wax right now.
And so anyway, but boundaries are okay. This is a great opportunity to have boundaries, especially with new customers, letting them know what is and is not okay.
Wow.
Yeah. She's not on, or else I'd have her tell you the story.
Is it, please tell me it's Katie. Please tell me it's Katie, because I need to hear from Katie. Where is she?
She is not available right now, and maybe
I'm gonna call her.
Have her recap the story.
Yeah.
Is she currently cleaning up wax for a customer?
Oh, she cleaned up, didn't she? She went and she cleaned up.
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because that could have gone either way. I could see that going either way.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Ariel, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I have a new customer. Also maybe of the demanding. The Wally wax. I need to find every bar.
For her.
She's so mad that she didn't order 15 of them on the sale last, whenever that was. And I need to find all of them for her.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't like cat pee first?
I've never smelled it.
Oh, it's bad.
So
I immediately changed my wax.
Cat pee,
oh, I know.
or
That's why I said that too.
Yeah.
Cat pee or
If I happen to find any, I'll send them your way. That's so funny. Okay, Cynthia said in the comments, going back to growth, she said, I feel like I have grown in the way that I can now acknowledge what isn't working and shifting. I wouldn't shift so much prior, but I have definitely started to. I'm making small strides, but it's far more consistent than what was prior. That is amazing growth. Being able to let go of things that are no longer serving you or your business. Freaking incredible. Way to go, Cynthia. That's a big celebration there.
Did anybody else used to do like crazy stuff as a new consultant? Like, I think about the things that I used to do when I first joined. How, like, I used to, if they were within like a 30-mile radius, I would hand deliver their orders.
You need a bulb? I've got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bulb.
I'm just
Right.
now stopping that, Maggie. 2 years later, I'm realizing I cannot keep doing this. We moved out of
We-
Austin, and I was still
Oh,
driving up to
gosh.
Austin from San
Yes.
Antonio almost to do
Yes.
deliveries.
I
And I was
used
like,
to
yeah,
have,
I'll be up every 6 weeks,
Yeah.
like 4 to 6 weeks. And now I'm
No.
like, no more, I'm done.
No. The amount of time I used to spend in the car and put my children in the car. I mean, and I don't know that anybody necessarily told me that I needed to do that, but I felt like I had to get those customers and keep those customers. I was thinking about that the other day, like, holy moly. No, if you cannot pick it up off my porch, which is a service, then you can pay for shipping, or you can go pick it up at the warehouse yourself.
Right.
Like hours, so much gas, so much time that I could have been doing other things. I remember one time I got asked to provide inserts for bags for an event. And I spent like hours and hours making these. I decided to use those sticky felt circles. And then I did a room spray situation. By the way, there's more than 600 sprays in room spray. Ask me how I know. I mean, like I couldn't wrap my mind around what was actually going to be productive. You know what I mean?
Yes, because it
I
feels
just wanted
productive.
everything. I wanted every event. I mean, I didn't understand, and I don't know, I did tons of little events, but none of them were super local to me. So I would drive so far, spend all day away from the things that I used to do that I think back on now, I'm like, holy moly. So the fact that like you can see that, Cynthia, and be like, this isn't working and I'm changing it, is huge, because I wish somebody would have taken me by the shoulders and like shaken me at one point to be like, stop.
Well, and I think it's really interesting to think back to that time and think about how hungry I was. Like I wanted all of it, right? And so I was willing to do all of it. The inserts for bags, the trick or treat, I went to a trunk or treat, and kids want tricks, mom wants treats, or whatever. I made it, I made a thing, and I made all the wax samples and I passed it out. My ROI was probably negative $87. And all of the things. It's like, why? And so I understand like my eagerness and my willingness, but I wish there would have been a conversation like this. Okay, what is your time worth? How much time are you going to put into it? Like actually sit down and think as a business owner. Yes, you want to get contacts. Okay, if you're willing to do that event and drive out there, are you willing to stock up on inventory, or are you going to make it something where they can place an order and maybe your offer is $5 shipping, or they can have QR codes and fill things out? What is your time worth? What is your sanity worth? But mostly going back to, what is your time worth? And is the ROI going to be worthwhile?
I was so bad. I was driving around free samples all over town instead of mailing them. Like my husband finally was like, you realize it would be cheaper to just mail that, right? You're going to spend more on gas when gas was like $4 something.
Oh yeah.
A gallon up, in Texas, it's been cheaper than Arizona, but like, but he's like, you realize that like driving to Austin or driving around New Braunfels where I live and out to another town that's a half hour away. He's like, you realize that this is wasting gas when you could just pop it in the mail and it will cost the same, or maybe like an extra $1 to mail, but you have all this extra time. And it took my husband saying that for me to realize like, this is terrible to go driving around. And so now like he'll go to the mailbox for me and I'll tell him I have to go to the post office. He's like, oh, I'm going out anyway. Let me just take it.
Yeah.
We're minimizing our trips now. And like having that outside perspective of him saying, you are wasting your time
Yeah. Well, you drive 30 minutes one way. So that's an hour
Mhm.
round trip to drop off free
Mhm.
samples for them to maybe place this in order for a six
And they
pack
haven't.
that they
They
want you to
haven't.
bring to them.
Mhm. Yep.
So that's 2 hours. And how
Mhm.
much commission do you get on a six pack?
Not
And then you have to deduct like your gas, like you're not making money. But in the moment, as a new consultant, you can't see that.
Mhm.
Yep. Just opportunity. That's what I saw. Opportunity. I get to meet somebody new. I'm, getting to know the town, whatever, but mm-mm.
And maybe these are just like cute little life lessons that we learn. It sucks that we've had to learn them, but maybe newer consultants can learn from our cute little life lessons.
My kids still, every time we get in the car, are we doing deliveries? No, no delivery. Okay.
They're like mentally preparing themselves.
Yes.
I think the climate around that has changed quite a bit though with like COVID and all of that. I mean, so many people, I have very few people that do porch pickups now because everybody got so used to doing like just ordering online, they just do, or they do Scentsy Club, or we live 15 minutes from the warehouse, so we can go pick it up from the warehouse. But like, I was thinking about that the other day though. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but I just was like, man, the things that I used to do or that I used to feel like I needed to do,
Yeah.
Thankful for that change.
Yes. And Kaylee in the comments said she's having lunch right now with her 16-year-old that she hardly sees anymore, but she has a treasure chest on her front porch that people can pick up from if they do a porch pickup. And she said it includes things like a single dryer disc or a pod left in the pack or a scent circle. So like what I would do is with a treasure chest for 4 months of the year is I have so many partial bars that are just sitting there. And I'm like, for sure, I'm going to use them or I'm going to gift them. And you know what? They haven't moved. They're not going anywhere, but I don't have enough porch pickups for people to probably actually take them. So I think I just need to do a big old dump in the garbage. I don't need to do that. I meant dump them in the garbage. So anyway, words and their order matter. Fallon's laughing. She got it.
I'm over here doing like the most awkward move too, and I'm just hearing that in my ear at the same time. Comic relief right there.
You're welcome. Oh, and I don't see any other comments. Is there anything else anybody wants to share about how they've grown in the last year? Or what they don't do anymore that no longer serves them? Because that's kind of a fun topic, Because between all of us, we probably have
Molds, sample molds.
at least 50 years of experience. Sample mold. Yup.
Those
Don't
go
do
in my
that anymore.
boxes now. Those go in my boxes.
Yeah.
But other than that, absolutely not. That is such a waste of
Not even that.
I used to spend so much time on that. I don't even do that anymore. I mean, Brandy, sometimes I'll do like, you can buy those, it's wax clamshells on Amazon.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
I'll like cut up wax and put little but I don't even like melt it and pour it in there anymore. I just cut a chunk and stick it in there. Like they don't care.
They don't.
They don't
really
care.
don't.
They don't care what the sample looks like. They don't care if it's felt. They don't care if you just take a slice off of it. Like they don't care. They're gonna throw it in their warmer. So what are we doing all that for?
Or in their garbage if they don't like it.
Or yeah, like gracious. The amount of time that I used to spend on stuff like that. And you know better, you do better. Like you figure it out and some people love to make the samples. If you are someone who loves to do it, fantastic. Do it. I actually did used to enjoy it. Now I'm like, forget that. Now I'm putting out 250 mailers a month. I don't have time for that.
Nope.
I need like the cheap felt from Amazon that doesn't soak up all that wax. By the way, if you're buying the Scentsy wax, the felt, stop. Sorry, stop it.
Don't do it.
Because you can only get like 35 samples from a bar because the the felt is so thick. If you buy the ones on Amazon where you can get 1,000 little circles for $4, you can get
yours thicker or this like real kind of flimsy circles?
Mine are pretty thin. It depends on the order. Like it comes different every time. Let's be serious. But
so I have one that doesn't.
Yeah. What Ariel has. You can get like 200 samples out of a single bar of wax.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
it's
even
a
more.
stamp. It's a regular stamp.
I get like 30 to 40 per cube. with those.
Yes.
Like 30. And I recently, like, I stopped dipping my felt into my melter. Poured it. I watched a video that Chloe was, or I think it was on her like Instagram story, Chloe Cox. She literally just poured it and it looked a mess, but it was so much easier. And it gives them more wax, honestly, than spending the time sitting there dipping it. And so I can just pour it and do the next one.
Yes. I
So
melt
easy.
mine in like my little candy melter, whatever it is. And then I take however many
Yes.
things I need and I dump it in there and I stir it around with some tweezers, squish it all down. And so that it spreads out, and then you dump the whole thing out on wax paper and you spread them out, and then you're done.
And I no
Like,
longer make
that's what I do.
extra. I make the amount I need.
Nope.
So then I
'Cause
don't waste
they don't
extra
go
time.
anywhere.
Yes.
They don't go anywhere.
They,
They're going to sit in
no,
my
they,
office.
yeah, they go in the garbage, the landfill eventually, because they sit in a pile.
Yes. 100%.
I have so many extras from the fall season. I made like 300 of Velvet Moon, and I still have probably 200 of them.
Shoot, I have three full sets left. Thanks for the reminder.
Get them out. Get them out. You got 4 days or whatever.
Out in the garbage, I missed the shot.
No, get them out. They have one last chance to buy them.
Yeah. When I had a ton of local pickups, like before that whole shift, before quarantine and all that, my samples were productive because I was putting them in the bags when people would pick them up. Now they get their samples and their thank you that I mail to them, even if they live 2 streets over, because I'm not driving it over there. You know what I mean? So I stopped doing it that way. Like, I've completely changed the way that I did it. My samples, I don't need them. If I make samples quarterly for my Scentsy Club people, I make exactly the number that I need. That's all I do. I don't have like a stockpile of samples anymore. They just sit there.
Mhm.
It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my resources. So I just stopped doing all that, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause
I
you
just
can do that.
found-
You could decide to just stop.
I just found a bunch of dish soap and Scentsy Fresh samples I made 2 years ago.
Oh, great. Try it
Um,
out. See if they're still good.
I know the fresh is, but I don't know about the dish soap. But I thought, like, I need to get those out because that's taking up a whole lot of space.
Yeah. And the dish soap could also be used as a, hey, these are being discontinued, but if you want to be on the list when they come back, let me know when they're unvaulted or whatever. So because we're so close to the end of the month, you could use it as a, do you love it? I'll get you on my list for when they relaunch, or, whenever the LTOs come out.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cynthia, she said she told her customers she was stopping samples like that. Awesome. I just didn't tell them. I do what I want, I am, and I haven't had complaints. And honestly, I did a poll in my VIP group one time, and I was like, hey, like, when you get samples from me, do you use them, throw them away, use them sometime? Like, I gave them options, and the amount of people who are like, yeah, I don't really use them. I was like, great, you throw my money away. Okay, I threw my money away. I'm not doing that any longer.
It's good to know that, though.
Yep.
You know?
And it's okay to ask, right? Ask.
Yeah.
And even if you love something, if it's not getting the ROI, if your people don't actually like it, is it worth you continuing to do it for no return or very little? So make sure you're weighing those.
Yes, I've seen just as much, if not more, of a return on just in the little tiny felt sample, because they get it in the mail, they smell it. If they like it, they'll text me or they'll order it on my website.
Mhm.
The end. Like, I always know when people get their stuff because I have like an influx of online orders because they want that scent or whatever, or they'll add it to their club, or they'll text me, oh my gosh, it smelled so good. Or I opened my mailbox and it smells so good. Doesn't matter. It still smells good if you did the felt sample or if you did the mold and spent 3 times as much on postage and 3 times as much time making it.
And my customers always say, we know when your mail's in the mailbox. It smells. My kids look forward to it. They want to fight to go get the mail because you have your scent in there, and it's that felt sample. It's all they care about. You know what I do on my VIP group though? Because I do my thank you, but then if there's something coming out, I will like open it up, like, who would like a sample of this? And I'll get 5 or 6 hits, and then I'm only sending out 5 or 6 things. I'm not sending out 500. Don't care. If you see it and you want it, you ask for it, I'll send you a sample. And that's been pretty good, because then it's on their mind, they want to try it, and then most likely if they like,
Well, then you're not spending time making a ton of extra samples, and you're like, nobody else wanted this. You can make the exact amount that was requested. And if only a few people want it, you can give them like bigger deluxe samples. Yeah. I was gonna say something to do with, it was gonna be good. You know, I'm gonna come back to that.
So something I was thinking about that I'm applying to my business. So the idea of like I have to do, for some reason my brain like rebels against that idea. I have to get this done. I have to, whatever. So instead of creating like a consistency list, I'm creating a sustainability list. So what is something that even when I'm depressed, when I don't have cash, what is sustainable? And so that means even writing down like charge my laptop, bring my laptop to bed, have my tea and follow up or whatever. So that I know bare minimum when I am at my lowest, what is sustainable for my business. That way it's not, oh, all of these things, because again, when you're in a depressive mindset, you have a 15 thing list, you get 2 done, you feel unproductive. But if I'm able to just do what is sustainable for my business, the not bare minimum, but you know what you're able to do at that time, sustainability list. So I'm going to be trying to teach everybody to like create one of those. So on the shit days, because we're all going to have them, that's the list you can get at least that done.
Yeah, I love the reframing of that, the sustainability list, because it's, in my mind, that makes more sense than the priority
To-do.
list, task list, yeah, to-do list.
Yeah.
But sustainable.
Because you know, when you're prioritizing living and wanting to live, you know, like had 2020. So I don't ever want to get in that headspace ever again. So I'm creating like fail safes. These are things that when I'm not prioritizing my business because I'm prioritizing my mental health, what can I still sustain that will keep my business running? Because I didn't do much and I'm thankful that I had the customers that I did, but if I didn't, my business would be over. So I know that in bringing myself back out of it to create these like safety nets in my business. So there's my little thing I got to get by next round.
I like that a lot. When we were talking earlier about needing to tell your customers things or feeling like you want to tell your customers that you're changing things up. If you feel like you have to, I want to free you of that. You can do whatever you want with your business, right? Target doesn't send us like samples when we buy from them. You know, online stores, they don't usually send us thank yous when we buy from them. So if that's something you have to let go, be okay letting it go. Send a text, that's free. Or just have them on your monthly email list or whatever. But I'm changing my monthly mail again. So a couple years ago, I was just doing postcards and then thank you packs for anybody who ordered in that month. That was a lot. Then I switched to, okay, everybody's getting a piece of mail in an envelope with a sample and either the, hey, you're still good to go for your orders, or this is your last time getting a sample until you order again, like the oh no postcard. So then I did all envelopes last year. I'm changing how I do it again and doing a combination of postcards and envelopes. So the envelopes are going to be like the month one, thank you. They're going to get a scent circle or a sample of some sort. And everybody else is just going to get a postcard with the scratch and sniff sticker on it. And that's okay. And I might not even continue doing scent warmer of the month for a while to see how that goes for me, because I have so many other samples, right? We have all of these new scents that we got from the new season sales kit. There's stickers. I have stickers galore. I don't need to get the new scent and warmer of the month necessarily, unless I love it and I really want it. But even then, I can get it with rewards the month it's out if I really want it. So I might kind of shift how I do things there too. And I can get the scent stickers. I don't have to get the subscription to get the scent stickers. So give yourself permission to try new things. I give myself big lengths of time. So like an entire year I gave myself for the last round to see what worked, what didn't, what was worth my time. I ended up hiring an assistant last year to get me through a lot of that stuff because it was a lot. And I feel like kind of doing a combo of the two, I might not either necessarily need her or I'll be able to use her differently. But I'm also working through like what I'm carrying on hand. I want to get rid of dang near everything I have on hand. I want to repurpose my office. I want it to also be our music room so we can do other things with other areas in our house. And to do that, I need to not have as much stuff. So I'm going to be working through that and figuring out if that's going to work in my business, how it can work in my business. So all of this to say, give yourself permission to try new things, try different things, and don't worry about what others are going to say or do because it's your choice.
Agree tenfold. And so you know who actually broke me on that was Steffi, because she was the first one that was like, I work from a cabinet. And I was like, excuse me? You know,
Right.
so nonchalant. I just work from a cabinet. Like, what? Back up. You work from what? She's like, yeah, this is it. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm changing my entire life. And just, so I literally got a cabinet and I put all my stuff in it. And so now I just need to get rid of the stock, and I'll have everything like, this drawer is for shipping, this drawer is for follow-up. Like, it was mind-blowing.
I was literally looking for giant cabinetry for my office to store everything prettier. And then that Monday night, Steffi was doing United We Rise. And I told my husband, I was like, I really need to listen to this, because this lady like makes buku bucks and works out of her living room on her TV stand. And he's like, huh? And he's like, you have a whole office and it's a disaster. I'm like, yeah. So I watched it and I was like, all right, that's it. No more events. I'm done. I'm getting rid of all of this.
It was like soul crushing. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing the most.
All
no
40
reason.
bottles of dish soap that I have are going under my kitchen cabinet.
Right. And it's like, I've got this huge closet, and how much else could I use it for with my personal stuff that doesn't have to be Scentsy? And how much of this stuff do I actually use versus what I thought I needed versus how I used to run my business but no longer do? And again, it's a different season. Sometimes it's cyclical. Sometimes seasons change and they don't go back. And I used to do a ton of events and I don't anymore. And I still have that mindset of, well, what if a customer needs this? I need to have it on hand. No, you don't. If they miss out, they miss out, and that's okay. There's ISO groups for everything. And if they miss out, is it really an emergency? No, it is not. No. So anyway, that's the personal stuff I'm working through right now, and I love it. Can't wait. So going into this new season, my mindset is going to be, okay, is it just going to sit here? Do I need it? Can I get rid of it? Like, can I throw it away? Do I want to try and sell it and make a little bit of money? Because really that is like, is it donate, sell, make a sale, or just chuck? What's it worth? Because I don't want to put my burdens on other people too, right? I don't want to say, oh, do you want these? Simply so that like I'm offering this to you, but like I don't ever want to be a burden, because I hate it when people do that to me. Oh, I thought of you, you know, I was getting rid of this and I thought you might like it. Thank you for your leftovers. So great. You know, I don't want to be that person.
I'm trying to get out of that mindset, because hearing you say that you're going to get rid of stuff, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods in a couple days. I'll swing by and grab some stuff from you.
You want
Have
my
you guys heard?
bars?
Have
Huh?
you heard of the 90s babies curse?
No.
The reason why we all look at everything and we're like, oh, that's recyclable, because what did we used to do? Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's like in the back of our head. And they said it's actually like a generational, like, that's why we don't throw away jars. That's why we're like, ooh, I can recycle that. Or let's look into zero waste for no reason, even though we know that's completely unsustainable. Like that kind of fun stuff.
90s baby curses. That's great. I love that. What are you guys taking into the new season? What's something that you did that was successful last year or that you want to try this year? What are you guys doing for the transition that's next week?
I have a pre-order form that I was going to send out, but I don't know if I'm going to be home in time to do it.
I'm staying true with my follow-up, like my mailers and stuff. Those have given me good return. I'm gonna stick with that. I actually got a system down somewhat. It's not the most efficient, but it works for me right now. But I'm going to keep that up and then improve upon it.
I think I shared a couple weeks ago that I'm not sending out catalogs this season. So I changed that. I did all of my stickers on rack cards, and then did not get them out the week that I wanted to. So now I need to put both February and March scents in there. So yeah. But I'm doing kind of the same thing. Like I have a Google form that I created for people to fill out if they want a catalog. If you want one, if you ask me for one, I will send you one. But I just kind of freed myself from having all that extra stuff because I don't need it. And we're moving and trying to minimalize things. Like I have a pod coming on Saturday. I have to get my house ready in the next 2 weeks. There are 9 people that live here. I have no time for like frivolous new catalog nonsense. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing bare minimum. I'm not going to be ordering. I usually try to keep a 6-pack of every scent here for local customers. Probably not going to be doing that. Because I don't want to have to move it.
Yeah.
You know, I need to get rid of all of the stuff, like you just said, all the stuff that you have just sitting there. Like I need to sell it and it needs to go.
Because it's just money on your shelf. Even
Yep.
if you don't get back what you put into it, it's still just money sitting on your shelf,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
staring at you,
I don't need all that stuff.
asking
So
God.
yeah, but like, I'm not going to be doing a ton of decorating this season. Like it feels weird to not like be able to really celebrate the new catalog because I'm not putting things out, you know, like I'm probably just going to keep my few warmers out that I have right now because we'll list. And then once it's sold, like then I have to pack up the rest of everything. I don't have time to be dealing with all of that. So, yeah, it's going to be a different season, but I hope that it'll be good because I'm not going to have an office at my parents' house. We're living with my parents for about a year while we build our house. I'm not going to have an office there. So I'm going to be like Steffi working out of a cabinet, which is what I did a long time ago. And it's totally doable. But it's going to be interesting to like really refocus because Ariel's been to my house. Like I've got like a whole office that I work out of and I love it. And it's super functional for me, but Scott also takes over it 2, 3, 4 days a week. So do I really get to go in there? You know, and then I'm reevaluating that big of an office in the new house. I don't know. So many questions.
So few answers. I know
I'm
I'm constantly asking myself these questions too. And it's like it's not an existential crisis, but it kind of feels like it sometimes. Like, what do I want?
waiting for putting a catalog in the orders I submit for the next couple months because then
Oh.
it's only going to cost me $1.10 instead of the catalog dollar plus the free $4 more to send it.
Genius. I love that. I love that. And then because they've ordered, they're going to get happy mail from me. And so I'm going to be out like $2. Brilliant. Well, like if I send a scent circle, it'll be a little bit more, but that's not the point.
Not if you got it free.
Not if I got it free. Oh, so something else I'm going to try too. I saw this shared in one of the leader pages is that somebody, she doesn't do the warmer of the month anymore, scent of the month. She, and so for a thank you, she has a QR code or just a little form that says, hey, thank you for your order. I want to customize your sample experience as your thank you. Which of these 5 scents would you like to try? And it's not specific to what kind of sample she's going to send. But hey, which of these 5 scents do you want to try? So I could leave it open to, I'm going to send you a deluxe sample that's squished up and still ships flat. I'm going to send you a scent circle. So with my rewards in March, that could leave me the opportunity to buy like 6 of each of the new scent circles, right? Or something. And then I'll have all of those options available or whatever 5 I choose or however many. And then they can customize it. It's something that they want. And I'm not just like, okay, everybody's getting the same scent. And then I'm just not just stuck with like excess. So that's something I'm going to try out too. That's all. Oh my God, we're at the top of the hour.
That's all.
That's literally all. Awesome. You guys, today's call was so fun. And just don't forget, I want you to really think about which 2 sets of animals and or you would like in the arena. I'm going to need a report back. And then we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Good luck, Maggie, tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.